fantastic fifth graders. Today we are going to practice multiplying a decimal times another decimal. We can do this. All right, let's start off with a whole number, 3 times 4/10, a decimal. So if we have 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, 4/10, then I have 4/10 again, 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, 4/10. That's 2 times 4/10. And now 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, 4/10. My answer would be 1 whole. See how this entire block is colored in? So that's 1 whole plus 2/10 of another. So that's 1 and 2/10 that I just colored in. And that makes sense, doesn't it? Because 3 times 4 is 12, and I'm moving my 4 one place value back, so I move my decimal one place value back. Okay? 1 and 2/10. So far, so good. Hopefully, this is what we've already practiced. Now, let's do a decimal times a decimal. Let's do 3/10 times 4/10. All right, this can be a little bit confusing on the picture, but don't worry, we'll get through it. And if you have questions, ask me tomorrow. Okay? All right, we're going to do 4/10 again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I colored in 4/10. Now, I'm going to color in 3/10. 1/10, 2/10, 3/10. Now, this is a little bit different than we're used to. Now, how many do I have colored in? Both red and that funky teal color. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I have 12, but they're not tenths. No, siree. These are hundredths because I'm counting the individual boxes. I'm not counting the rows or the columns. I'm counting the itty bitty boxes, and there are 100 of them. There's 10 times 10 equals 100. So I have 12 out of 100 total. That equals 12 hundredths. Now, if you look at it mathematically, I moved my 3 over 1, and I moved my 4 over 1. So my answer, my decimal is going to be moved over 1, 2 place values. Okay? Let's try another one. All right, 2 times 5/10. So I have 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, 4/10, 5/10. Now, if I do that again, if I have 5/10 twice, 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, whoa, 4/10, 5/10, whoa. All right, so 2 times 5/10, I have my whole thing colored in, no extra, none left over, so I just have 1 whole. And that makes sense because 2 times 5 equals 10, and I moved my 5 to 5/10. That's 1 place value different, so my answer would be 1 place value different. Okay? What if instead, I know yesterday we practiced patterns, 2 times 5/10 equals 1 whole, 2 times 5 equals 10, so 2 times 5 equals 10, 2 times 5/10 equals 1. What do you think 2 tenths times 5/10 would equal? Well, let's do on our picture and see if you're right. I bet you are. 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, 4/10, 5/10. Now, I'm not going to take this times 2 wholes. I'm going to take this times 2/10. So let's use green to represent 2/10. 1/10, 2/10. So how many of my blocks are colored in both green and blue? They have to be both colors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 tenths. or 10 hundredths. I'm sorry, 10 hundredths, because they're the itty bitty blocks. They're not the columns or the rows. They're the hundredths. So I have 10 hundredths. 10 hundredths looks like this, or you could have also written 1/10 because they both have the 1 in the tenths place. Okay? And notice that follows our pattern like we practiced yesterday. So I moved my decimal over for one number in my factor, but if I move my decimal in two numbers, it's going to be two place values different. So from 10, I'm going to move my decimal over 1, 2, and I would also get 1/10. Okay? Because my decimal is, there's one number behind my decimal, there's two numbers behind my decimals in my factors. So my product, I'm also going to move my decimal over 1, 2. Okay? Please write this example in your math journal. If you need to pause the video, do so. Write 2/10 times 5/10 equals 1/10 or 10 hundredths. Okay? Got it? Please write this example with the hundredths grid in your math journal. Please do this problem with me. So start off by making a hundreds column. So it's going to be 10 by 10. So first, all you have to do is make a box, a big old square, and make 10 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is terrible. You can do way better on your math journals than I can do on the computer. By 10, 1, 2, make sure they go all the way down. 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. This is terrible. 8, 9, 10, and then I would just fill in my rows all the way. Oh, yours has got to be better than mine. Don't tell me you can't do better than this. Whew. All right. So now that we've made our hundredths grid, I'm going to use this one because it's much prettier. Let's write down 6/10 times 7/10. Can you write down your problem just like that? Cool. All right. Let's do 6/10 times 7/10. I'm going to color in 6/10. So that's 6 rows of 10. So there's 3, 4, 5, 6. I just colored in 6/10. Now I'm going to pick a different color, and I'm going to color in 7/10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. So did you color in 6/10 times 7/10? All right. Hopefully, you got this. You're ready to show it to me tomorrow. Now, what is the answer to that? How many are colored in on mine, both blue and orange? How many are colored in both colors on your grid? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. And that makes sense because 6 times 7 is 42. Okay, that shouldn't have been a shocker to you. 6 times 7 is 42. So there should be 42 colored in both of your colors. Now, 42 what? 42 wholes? No. 42 tenths? No. 42 hundredths, because we're counting the little bitty boxes right here. And how many boxes are there? 100. And we counted 42 out of 100, so that equals 42 hundredths. So my last number has to be in my hundredths place. Hundredths place. Ones, decimal, tenths, hundredths. So my answer is 42 hundredths. And if you think about our patterns, we know 6 times 7 is 42, hopefully. And we know 6 times 7/10 we can figure out would be 4 2/10. So 6/10 if I move my decimal for both this one and this one, both numbers in my factor, I move it over 1 for my 6, 1 for my 7, 1 plus 1 is 2. Move my decimal over 2 places in my factors. I'm going to move my decimal over 2 place values in my product. Okay, so I should have 6 times 7 times 7 tenths equals 42 hundredths. Okay, do you have this picture in your math journal plus the math problem in your math journal? If so, I will see you tomorrow. Ask me any questions you have then. I'll see you then. Bye, 5th graders.